Alright, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 Alpha Star cast. As per usual on this channel, every other day is Alpha Star Day. And that means every other day is a real good day, because watching this AI play some Starcraft 2 is a treat. However, this Protoss player is not the AI. This Protoss player is a Masters Protoss who's going to be taking on AlphaStar's Terran. So we are going to be blessed with another AlphaStar Terran game. AlphaStar's Terran, it can be a little bit derpy at times. It's a very unique style. Out of all the ways to play, I think AlphaStar probably has the most variation with Terran, in a sense, compared to, like, say if we were to watch like a GM Zerg and then an AlphaStar Zerg, or a GM Protoss and then an AlphaStar Protoss. I think the biggest difference is the AlphaStar Terran versus just like a GM Terran, because AlphaStar will just like start making Banshees and not stop. It won't really get stim, it won't make medivacs. It really doesn't play Terran the way that we're used to seeing it. And that's one of the interesting things about how the AIs come about, because it does show us kind of new styles, maybe, like shows us that there is different ways to go about winning a game of StarCraft 2. Because after all, that's the definition, this AI. It doesn't care how it does it. It doesn't care about style points. It cares about how it's going to get the W. And let's take a look here. Probe sharking about for the Masters Protoss, just checking that AlphaStar isn't doing any pesky proxies or anything like that, the Terran player is behaving. However, as AlphaStar is rarely known to cheese or anything like that, you're usually pretty fine. So that's actually something that you could think about if you were to go and play AlphaStar in, like, say, a best of 5 or a best of 3. You know that it's probably not going to cheese you early on in the game, as that's just not something that it tends to do. So maybe you could get away with a bit of greed or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it would change things up. Who knows? But we take a look here. Reaper out on the way for AlphaStar. We'll see how many probes it's going to be able to kill. This Protoss player has the Stalker on the way, but a probe is under fire. So far, though, good probe micro from the Protoss player. Definitely a lot better Protoss probe micro than I can do. I probably would have lost a probe there. But yeah, great showing so far from the Masters Protoss. That's really the first challenge for a Protoss player in a game of PvT. Not to lose anything to the first Reaper, to this guy who's just sharking about, being a pain. And then, yeah, we'll see where this game's going to go from here. I'm honestly willing to bet AlphaStar is going to make some Banshees, because that's what it does in Protoss versus Terran. And, yeah, let's take a look here. Protoss player just has his Stalkers out in order to cover his bases, deny the scouting. And that's what I like to see. This kind of build is my favorite Protoss build. But, yeah. Nothing too major happened in this game. AlphaStar also going for Hellions. It can be very YOLO with his Hellions, as we've seen once or twice. It'll tend just to run them right on in, basically just screaming, just, I'm not going to scream into the mic, but it basically just, like, screams and kamikaze runs right into the Protoss's base. Now, this Protoss player is going for a nice wall off himself, as he is worried about those Hellions just charging on in there. We take a look here. First two Hellions are going to run on in, but they are not going to make it very far, as these Stalkers just going to shut them down. No squeezing by for those Hellions, and good defense from the Protoss so far. And as we are 4 minutes into this game now, ladies and gentlemen, just before things get a little bit too heated for me to mention it, slap that like button. Hit it hard like you should be hitting the ladder on StarCraft 2, as yeah, let's try and break 4 likes for this video. And of course, if you're new to the channel, I do post AlphaStar every other day, so consider subscribing. But enough of that, because Hellions are running on into the base. But it's a sad story for these Hellions, as a matter of fact, as they have not got a single thing done. So the opening for this PvT for AlphaStar is not looking so hot. I mean, it has not got a single thing done. 4 Hellions and a Reaper are dead for absolutely nada. Not even a single probe. Now, fortunately for AlphaStar, it is not easily discouraged, but it very well may be, because this Protoss player has already spotted this Banshee. is teching on up here, has a better worker count, a third on the way. I don't know what AlphaStar is going to be able to do here. AlphaStar actually sees the stalkers and sees maybe the observer there. I actually don't know if it does register observers or not. That would be something interesting to know. As, yeah, I mean, so far, just nothing going AlphaStar's way. It's having a real bad time. And honestly, this is how everyone should play Protoss, in my opinion. The defensive Protoss style is very, very good versus Terrans because a lot of Terran play is just based around getting that early damage done. So if you just focus hard on the defense, you're probably going to be in an R8 spot. Now we take a look here. AlphaStar is going to be going for one of its hidden bases that it likes to do as Terran. It's usually the top right corner too. I'm not going to try and pretend I know why it's the top right corner. However, that is AlphaStar's corner. And if we take a look here right now, this Protoss player just teching on up, getting +1 armor, extended thermal lance, charge on the way. So, and also a ton of gateways, so you're going to be able to make a ton of zealots. I'd like to see Blink on the way after this as well, as it does help deal with banshees and things. And Lord knows versus AlphaStar, you do need to be able to defend banshees. But so far, this Protoss player doing a good job of that. While AlphaStar just getting up his third base here. I mean, AlphaStar is getting more Banshees, more tanks on the way, getting a tech lab on a barracks, so maybe we'll see some Stimpack. I doubt we'll see any Medivacs or anything like that, as AlphaStar just doesn't tend to make Medivacs. But so far, I mean, it has actually taken the lead in the worker count, so that's not too bad for AlphaStar. The Banshee being a pain, going to try and chase down a sentry, able to get it. That's very nice. Now engaging into some stalkers, changes direction to focus on some of these probes. So AlphaStar is starting to get a good bit of damage done here. I mean, it didn't really get anything done in the early game, but then there was also the Banshee harassing in the main, so 8 probes go down in all. The Banshee also making it, maybe going to get one more, not quite. But yeah, just on the way that the macro's been going, this is pretty darn good for AlphaStar. I mean, if we take a look at the worker count alone, it's up to 60 workers. The Banshee harassment is starting to get something done, and this is really odd because this Protoss player had a very good start here. He took no damage or anything like that, but AlphaStar just shows if you keep harassing and then you just macro good behind it, you will build yourself a lead, and the Terran definitely has that right now. I mean, take a look at this. We're looking at a Terran player who's amassing a ton of siege tanks, stimmed Marines, has a third base up, 67 SCVs out. Continuously saturating this hidden base, by the way. AlphaStar is also the worst at hiding bases. It's just training SCVs. I think the Observer might have even been able to glimpse the SCVs transferring, but I guess the Protoss player didn't register, or he's too busy dealing with Banshees still at his third base harassing. Then this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I always open up with Blink first before the charge, as it makes shutting down those Banshees a lot easier. But yeah, this Protoss player just falling behind in the macro, while AlphaStar never, ever lapses in its macro. I mean, it's already just prepared to saturate this gas. Holy moly, gas saturation, as AlphaStar is taking that very seriously. But yeah, I mean, the Protoss player is deciding to go for an attack, but he's actually down on army supply. He's just not macroed well enough behind this, and he's fallen behind. He feels pressured to attack, but look at all these siege tanks. I don't think he can do this. If he goes in, that is going to be suicide. And oh, he's going to go for it. The Colossus are melting the Marines, but there is so many siege tanks, the Protoss player has to retreat. And right now, there's even a Banshee that was attacking at the third. He finally invests in a cannon. He says, enough of the Banshees. But that was a little bit late. Now, AlphaStar is going to move out and attack. The Protoss player is in position to intercept this, which is nice, as tanks and Marines can definitely be sort of pulled back and forth a little bit by the Protoss. But the Protoss might have gone a bit too far in there, as he loses some of his units. Man, AlphaStar is just literally a macro machine here, as it's making just 12 Marines at a time, just hecking up. Upgrade-wise, things are pretty darn equal. The Protoss player will have +2 armor, which is going to help his units with tankiness, but I don't know. I mean, now this is AlphaStar derping and just making Mass Marine versus Colossus. That is a bold move right here. So we'll see how well this is going to work for AlphaStar, but it's actually just sending all these Marines across the map. And this could actually catch the Protoss player off guard. Does he recall or something? Because these Marines are going to be moving on in, and there ain't a lot here to stop him right now. The Protoss player, oh my gosh, is even getting shot by a Banshee, so he's trying to make some harassment work, which is going to get some SCVs, but all these Marines all of a sudden are just rolling on up to his doorstep. They're going to stim and charge towards the third base. We'll see what they're able to get done. A lot of probes are probably going to die here, but this is a lot of Marines. This is no small commitment from AlphaStar, and the Marines are actually just getting over-stimmed to death, so okay, that was atrocious for AlphaStar. I mean, for every brilliant move this AI makes, it seems it does something really, really derpy, as it feeds a ton of its Marines into the meat grinder there. Now, a fourth base is on the way for the Protoss. The worker count has evened up a little bit due to that Zealot harassment, but AlphaStar still getting up its own fourth base, has higher army supply. The composition I'm not too sure of, though, but oh, the Warp Prism even gets picked off. That is nice. It did bait out a stim from AlphaStar, though, and then AlphaStar, okay, gonna float a random factory over. So we'll see how this is gonna work out. I mean, AlphaStar with a ton of tanks, with a ton of Marines, gonna be trying to defend the spot. The Protoss player coming in from behind, getting on top of the tanks. Colossus and Archons will probably clean this up. AlphaStar, really with just Marines at this point, is going to be taking on Colossus. I don't know how well that's going to work for the AI. The Banshees are doing what they can. The Observer was actually killed, so these Banshees are uncontested now. They may be able to get some of the Colossus. A quick recall from the Protoss player will send those packing. But still, the Protoss player knocked down a base. AlphaStar still macroing away like a machine that it is, and even getting a planetary up here. So, while AlphaStar traded out a lot of army, it has the better economy at this point. The Protoss player, though, still has these God Colossus racking up a ton of kills. 24 kills on this one. That's a lot of dead Marines. Protoss player just trying to keep saturating here. We'll see what he's going to do. There's a lot of Marines moving out for AlphaStar. AlphaStar has actually made a medivac here. This is key. This is cool. AlphaStar doesn't usually make a medivac too often. However, this Protoss player misses this army of the Terran, and his third base is pretty darn exposed here with all these units out on the map. I don't know what he's going to be able to do to save this. There's no recall, so I think AlphaStar is going to knock this Protoss player down a base. And if we take a look here right now, as AlphaStar is going to be getting attacked, I don't know if this Protoss player is going to be able to make this attack work. I mean, he's moving on in. He's got the Colossus, which are able to do so much, but there's Marines charging on in back at home. Stalkers get warped on in versus Stim Marines. Now, Stalkers are not very good versus Stim Marines on their own. The Colossus and Stalkers and the one Immortal still trying to push on in here for the Protoss player as he's trying to make the space race work, and he is slaughtering like all these Marines, so this is kind of working for him. If he can compromise AlphaStar's production, maybe he can take this game, but he's still having a hard time defending back at home. He's got these Stalkers, but he's not microing them. There we go, he blinks them back, but he's lost so many units here. He's still just killing so many Marines. This Colossus up to 35 kills, but a Banshee pops out. Another one comes on home. There is an Observer here, but only 3 Stalkers. I don't know if it's going to be enough. There's 3 Banshees, 2 Stalkers. Are they going to be able to shut this down? There's 3 Stalkers, but where'd the Observer go? It must have been killed off, or I don't even know. No, there it is. Okay, it was in the front, but there we go. Now it gets killed off. The Protoss player just running out of steam here. I think AlphaStar has done it, as it is going to just completely, win out here. I mean, just with a perfect counterattack, the Stalkers are going to try and be microed for the Protoss player, but he's going to need some God tier micro and some God tier skill to come back in this game, as he is on one mined out main base versus, yeah, that's it. I don't even get to finish my sentence there. As AlphaStar takes the game very convincingly in what was a very exciting PvT. And it even fires up some Ravens, I guess, because it had a lot of gas. I don't know. And yeah, just very well done by AlphaStar. I feel like I'm giving a bit of a needless pat on the back, as it's a robot. and doesn't need to be congratulated. But yeah, well done. The Protoss player played well, I feel, but I think it really just fell apart when the Banshee harassment, like, he had a very, very solid opening, but his reaction to that was not very good when he was getting harassed nonstop. He just stopped growing entirely, while AlphaStar just got up more bases and more production and everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, as per the end spiel, make sure to press that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, check out the memberships on YouTube, all that kind of jazz. I know it's repetitive that me kind of plugging my own stuff, but I do enjoy doing this and try and get you guys to check out as much of my content as possible. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. This has been LaughNgamez.